Welcome to City Skylines and the city of Portmont. Now this is going to be the last of the regular videos for this Let's Play, and by regular I mean this is the 3 parts a week, but there's still a couple of things I still want to do. So what will most likely happen is that I will come back to this city at regular intervals just to demonstrate 1 or 2 things that still need to be finished, and probably the best way to explain it is if I show you the unique buildings here. If I come to here and if we come across here, you can see I've got a couple of unique buildings which I haven't unlocked yet. One is the Eiffel Tower, because we've got to get to 30,000 squares of industrial zone, and I mean that is just a bit of a grind, and it also applies to this here where we're going to have 600 city service buildings, and that's basically comes down to doing like this. Is if you put in here, you look for the fire coverage. So anywhere where we've got weak fire coverage, well, we could put we've got a fire station there. So effectively what you're just doing is plonking down buildings. I mean, we've got no fire coverage here, so put one in there. We've got the fire coverage is a little bit weak here, so, and what you do basically is go around putting fire and police down and other city buildings. I mean, we've got no police up here, so we can put a police station there, and what you do is just keep putting them down. Eventually you get to 600. I mean, if you're really impatient, what you can do is just spot them everywhere all over the city if you've got plenty of money. Now that leads into a unique building that I've already unlocked, and if I come up here, it's the locomotive hall. Now if any of you are aware, this requires you to build 7 instances of a multi-platform station. Now I'll be completely honest, it's a bit of a ridiculous unique building, because even a city this size doesn't need 7 multi-platform stations, unless of course you're doing a project where you are quite literally building up a whole city using railways. So what I actually did is, and I've actually taken the road out, so maybe I should put it back in again. What I actually did is I came out here like this, and I effectively just built a row of these multi-platform stations. I built 6 in a row. I didn't even bother to connect them up to the railway, and then the game was happy and it did that unlock. And of course I actually did that as a test, but of course not forgetting completely about the fact that once you've unlocked a building, you can't go back and do a reload. I'm gonna take this out and put you the basketball court over here, because we do have a little bit of demand. So building, so I'm just gonna put that there, and I think just absorb that extra demand that's coming through. Maybe put in a little bit of residential here, just check water. Now what I want to do also in this part is put out some of the monuments, because there's a couple of useful monuments here. You've got Project Eden and the fusion power plant, and we've also got this space elevator for tourists. Now I'm not going to put out the Hadron Collider because I'm still working on that, leveling up my university, and of course the Doomsday Vault we can't put out because I haven't done the few remaining ones. If I come back to here, I mean, just to show you, I've unlocked this is all unlocked, and you can see I've been putting the buildings out to unlock the monuments. And the way the monuments work is, what you do is you put one out, and then it tells you to build another one, and then you build another one, and eventually you get to the point. We've got a grand library here. What we do with putting that in, and what I've actually been doing is putting a lot of the unique buildings into this university area here. We've now got a grand library, and I think if we come here, you can see now I've now unlocked the Hadron Collider. So that's good. And if we go back to here, of course the few remaining buildings I've got is we've got to complete 3 scenarios. Of course I can't do that, and I've also got to do the Sparkly Unicorn Rainbow Park. What I might, depending on time, what I might do is do some of these as separate Let's Plays over time. So the city is growing. What I want to do is put in a couple of monuments, and the one to save the power problems. This is more for demonstration purposes. I think we can just come out here. If I come out like that, and we come here, which is the one to make sure we put the fusion power plant up here. what you will see is once that kicks in, sometimes you've got to come out and come back in again. You see the power's right off the chart. Now that produces enough energy to even power this whole city, but what I suggest is if you're running short of cash, what you do is just switch off some of these, but don't actually knock these buildings down, simply because, especially if you've got disaster switched on, one good hit on that or a fire or something like this. In fact, just make sure we're a fire station there. Yeah, and if you lose the power there, it tears up your whole city, so that's something you want to bear in mind. And in fact, I want to put the Eden project out, and maybe we can put it over here. And really, I mean, as far as I know, the Eden project doesn't produce any noise, so you can, it's one of the few big monuments you can actually drop in close to here. And what this does is, this now, just to show you, the Eden project effectively increases the land value across the map, and also it reduces pollution. What should happen now, if I go to land value, you'll see this is the effect of the Eden project. The whole city, everything, everywhere you go, is a very high value. So you can see, so you've got max land value. So if you've got a city that's struggling with building up and leveling up, whacking down the Eden project will actually do a lot of good to your city. Now there's another unique building I do want to put out, and I want to put it over here for a very specific reason. So I got a bit, if I've got a water problem here, yeah. And I think we'll just put that through there. And I kind of want to put it here or over here. In fact, I'd like to put it here, and this is the Chirpex, if I can find it. There it is, the Chirpex, but it's a pretty big building, and it's probably going to say to sleep. Now I want to put it over here for a specific reason. I'll explain if I can actually park. I mean, I could put it over here. The trouble is I need a flat area to put it on. I mean, I could put it out over here. But we got a bit of a fire problem here. Just check. Yeah, I mean, probably just put. I mean, this all helps towards unlocking that unique building. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to come out this. Actually, this is nice and flat, so we come out here, and what I want to do is come here, and then we're going to come up with this all oblige, and then we're going to come down, and we drop that down nicely like that. And we can put that through there. Hopefully Chirpex will fit in here. There it is. This is the Chirpex Spaceport. It's a, as you can see, it's a really big building, but it's unique in its own right, because if I click on here now, what you'll see is that it says rocket construction. Now, if I go to the description in here, I can find it. Where's the Chirpex Spaceport? There it is there, and you can see, you can see here. So if I go to the Chirpex launch site, you'll see here the Chirpex launch site builds and lets you launch rockets in order to provide public space transport services. Building a rocket requires products from the oil and ore industry buildings. Launch the rocket using the button on the building platform. Now, so this is going to take a long time to charge up to build a rocket. That's the reason why you want to put it near where you've got industries, where you're producing the raw materials, which then can be delivered up here. So that's the reason why I've built this out here. Now I think for the rest of this video, I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview now, because I've got a few problems growing which need to be fixed. One is this goods station has become incredibly popular, and it's got a few problems now. You can see its traffic's turning back here. I think the problem is I've connected this through, so I need to fix that, and I think I know how to do that somehow. And also we got a lot more trains coming from this area. The other thing also is, if I show you here, my traffic is down to 78%, and the reason for that is that the highway over here is really starting to build up. And what I will probably do is a separate video when I find time, using the traffic manager mod, just to show how we can lift up the overall traffic as the city grows. I mean, we've got a lot of demand for industry, which I do need to do. But what I want to do now is switch on the focus on here and change this a little bit. We got an inbound station here, and what I want to do now is we got a bit of a traffic flow here. We got road coming in from there, and what I want to do is, first thing we're going to do is put a second station here. So we're going to just put this in here. We're going to put another, yeah, and that's going to give me, and what we're going to do is we're going to hook a rail line from here. We're going to go creative, and what we're going to do is come through here like that, and then, oops, because I'm rushing. I'm just going to hook that in there like that. Now I'm not going to hook this to allow trains to go the other way. What I will do is I will pick up, actually, let's put the road in first, and then the next thing I want to do, I mean, this is handling the traffic here, so what I'm going to do is come up here and it's going to come across like that, and we're just going to drop down there, and we're just going to put I suppose I could put that there. We've got a couple of junctions there, and probably more importantly what I can do is hook through into there, and water's okay, we just need power, and you hook through to there, and you hook through to there. Now what I'm going to do is take out this connection here, and we'll leave that one there. But what should happen is that the goods coming in from this side of the map should start to come to this station here, and because there's no connection here, and then what should happen is the goods coming in from here will only come from this side, and this one will service this side of the map. Now the next thing we need to deal with is this link here, because this is overloading the station. So what I want to do is put another station in, say about here. And this is how you can stack stations. And I think if I can come up down like that, and yeah, that should fit in quite nicely. And again, what we're going to do is we're just going to delete this rail line here, and this is going to be a bit tight in a loop, but I think we'll be okay. And then that's going to come there, and of course we need to take this road out, so I'm going to take off the, and I think we come this way, and I don't want you to interfere with that, and I think you can come there because that gives the option to come out there. And then now the fun bit is going to be picking off this road here. I'm a little bit worried about that junction, but I think we'll be okay, because this is a one-way road, so it will flow that way. In fact, what we can do is put a road across like that, so anyone coming up here who wants to feed this station should be okay. And then we're just on the water and some power down to here like that. And what should happen now is that this station will service this line in here, Oops, and we've now got an academic here, so we're now acclaimed. That's good. This station here will service traffic coming in from this direction, but of course we will still get some overlap because there'll be goods coming up this line into this line, which will then go out that way. So the exports from this station will still need that connection there, and then eventually what will happen is that the goods that want to go to and from this port here, this station here, will come up into this one. So what will happen is eventually this will distribute the load between all the different stations. You can see that trucks are coming in here, and hopefully this will start to take the pressure off of this station. And more importantly, what it will do is it will start to spread the load of the trains. I think you can see the effect coming now here. Hopefully this train will go down that road there. Nope. So this one still wants to come into here, but at the same time it's not that important if the load is split between these two stations. Plus it will take, sometimes it takes a little while for things to adjust, but hopefully what that will do is it will just take the pressure off of and stop trains queuing up left, right and center here. Now I did have a problem over here with, and this is something I've never seen before. In fact, if we buy these tiles here, this is the first time I've ever seen this, where you actually get trains queuing up to leave the map. I mean, I've always had lots of trains queuing this way, but that's the first time. Maybe until you go to an 81 tile map, you don't actually see this. No, I suppose they are moving in the right direction. It's just taking them a little while to get off the map. And this is a problem that you do get when a city gets this large, is that you eventually start to overstress the external connections. I mean, this side isn't too bad. I mean, we got a little bit of a problem here as well with lots of goods coming in here. So I think what we probably could do is put a connection there, and we could, I don't think, is the outbound traffic? Well, we could put in a, whoops, we connected through. I think we've got a connection through to there anyway, but maybe we do that connection there and take this one out. I mean, it looks a bit weird anyway, so we'll just take that out like that. And then hopefully what that will mean is that all the goods here will be drawn onto that. The only downside is that it will turn this into a bit of a rat run. And probably what I do need is a road in from about here to deliver the goods in. So maybe if we come here, if I can find this, and I'll be completely honest, I'm not a big fan of doing this, because once you start doing this, it becomes a little bit of a slippery slope with respect to, you know, you're actually kind of fiddling with the city, and once you start doing things like this, it's often an indicator that what you're actually doing is not exactly right, and you should be rethinking what you're actually doing. Okay, you'll have to come in maybe like that. And what that should do is, yeah, I mean, it's a terrible road, and it's something. And it is, as I say, it is an indicator that maybe everything is not right in the world, and you do need to come here. I think we're put some offices in here just to fill in this area here, just to absorb that little bit of industry that's taking place here. See, we're now up to 324,000. Yeah, most things are going in. I mean, we could probably do with some more airport here. I mean, we've got some more industry out here, but I'm a bit reluctant to push this too hard over here. Maybe we can put in a little bit, just put the snapping back on. And oops, this is a, That's the wrong road anyway, so take that out. And maybe we'll just come in like that. I mean, this is probably an example of what you need to do if you're going to get that unique building, where you need to do the unlock, and that is by effectively, we'll just have to push this out a little bit like this. You can just keep growing the farming out like this. In fact, what I would probably recommend is that you do concentrate more on the light industry, farming, forestry, items like this, just to keep everything building up quite nicely. I mean, we got some more commercial here as well, although I'm not sure where I'd want to put commercial. I mean, we've already got facts. No, I don't know, the traffic's not too bad here. You see, the city's pretty big. I mean, I'd be tempted to put in another forestry village in here somewhere. I think, well, I think we can just... So we could grow this out a little bit further. See, we've got the Eden project out here. And maybe we'll just come across like that. You can hook that way. Maybe you can hook all the way through to there. And you can hook into there like that. And you can hook into there. And what we'll do is just whack in a massive big module. A density commercial there. We can bring this out across like this. And of course we're probably going to need education out here. I'm not sure whether education actually counts as a service building. Let's just have a quick look. So at the moment we've got 491 service buildings. So if I put in normal education, if I put one of these in and then if we go back to here, yeah, so schools counts as service buildings as well. In fact, what we could probably do is also put in a public library. Put that just there. I'm assuming that will add as well. No, obviously libraries don't count. And I think you've got to be a bit careful with that unique building, in the sense that I'm pretty sure, let me just check. If we take this one, so currently at the moment it's 493. If I put down one of these, so if I put one of these over here and just go in here, yeah, this is one of the problems with the unique building, in the sense that these unique buildings are predate the sum of the DLCs, and they are orientated towards people who don't have the DLCs. So therefore, when you put down one of the new building types like this community school, they don't count. So when you're working towards putting out, when you're working towards that unique building, just make sure that you are putting down. I'm pretty sure crematoriums count towards the unique building. Yeah. So I mean, a really good one is literally to come here, pick the crematorium, and you can literally put crematoriums down all over the city. There's always a need for them, so you can. So if you just come here, there's put one there, put one over here, and we've got none over here as well, so we could probably just drop in one over here. None at all over here in this area here. We've got quite a lot there. Got a bit of a water problem here, so maybe we can just put in here. So just going with the crematoriums. Here we got a little bit of gap over here, so we can put one in there. And probably just sneak one on that corner there, then one over here, and maybe one out over here, and maybe another one there, and we can drop one in there. Don't really need a crematorium up here, but why not? Put one in, and we'll put one up here. And so we've got one there. We don't have one here. And just to get back now, if we go back to here, you see we've now got 510. So again, that's another way to you can actually cheese the game if you're in a really much of a rush. You can see here the Chirpex rocket is building up quite steadily, and you can see we've got a few problems here. Probably it's not enough goods to sell. This, I say, this is a problem that will develop once your city gets to a certain size, and that's purely and simply down to the limitations of the city itself. But you can't actually get enough goods coming in at one time because the city is now so big, and this is a limitation. I'm a little bit worried about a fire there. Yeah, we don't. We got a fire. We got multiple fire stations, so I'm not sure why. That's maybe it's just taking a little while for the fire trucks to get here. Oh no, they're working on it. And just come back here just to show you that you can see how putting the 3 cargo stations in here and just controlling what is coming and what is going is stopping those queues forming. But you can still see this is the busiest of all the stations. Now, because this line's got its own dedicated station, this is now working a little bit more efficiently. This is taking off some of the pressure, so that's working really well. Looks like we've got aircraft flying in formation as well. So all in all, things are reasonable. I mean, yeah, we got a little bit of, probably get rid of that, and let's get rid of that. And I think just to finish the video up, let's just have a look through our winter market. I don't know if that got any, does that make any noise? No, it makes no noise pollution. So where can we put this? Where we could put a benefit to the overall city. Problem's finding somewhere to fit it in, actually, isn't it? Let's come through here. Go away. Loco hall. This is quite big, actually, isn't it? Wow. Okay, we got a water problem here. I mean, we could put the loco hall up here, maybe make that into a little bit of a tourist process. Why not? And I'm just going to drop that up here. I mean, there's no stations up here, but actually quite like that train in the front there. Looks pretty cool, actually. And just gonna have a quick run through. I think I've put out most of the unique buildings now. Just have a quick check. Yep. So we got somewhere in the city, somewhere is unique buildings. So we got this here, and we got that there. So that means that all the unique buildings, except for some in here, are now deployed. So we've got the London Eye, the theatre, sports arena. Wow, that's big as well. And we could, I mean, this might help with the area here. I mean, it's actually responded by having a negative effect, but why not? We've got a shopping mall in. How big is the London Eye? I mean, it looked quite spectacular here because the London Eye is actually next to the River Thames, so maybe if we we create a little bit of a touristy area here, because we do have the passenger port here. We can put the London Eye there. I suppose that will look impressive. And we could put that there, the sports arena tucked in here as well. And what's this? Theatre. And in some ways this would be a good way to connect through with the power as well. So if we put, we can take that out. Oops. That's actually connected through as well, so we can take that out. And of course we've got a bit of a water problem. I chose the one place where it's not actually connected. Of course let's put in here. Put that in there, and we can't put the Eiffel Tower in. Got the Arc de Triomphe. I don't think the Arc de Triomphe actually goes across the road. So, I mean, it looked pretty cool to actually put it there, wouldn't it? Although that would be dominated by that tower there. I mean, the Arc de Triomphe really needs to be somewhere where it can really stand out. Although, how it stands out in a city this big, I'm not too sure. I mean, we could put it over here. That actually makes noise, so maybe we'll just drop it in there so that it actually fits in. Nice detail on the front of it. And that just leaves the Brandenburg Gate, which is in Berlin. So I suppose we shouldn't put the Brandenburg Gate next to. I mean, it's actually quite small, so we could put it back over here, just on this corner here, like that. And that effectively means that all the unique buildings that I have unlocked are now deployed in the city. I bet what we'll probably do is put in a couple of small parks in along here like this. And of course what we could do is blend this area in. So we wouldn't want to put high density commercial in here, but if this is a tourist area, we would certainly want to put a little bit of tourism or commercial in like that. We won't want it on this road because this road is still effectively the main road feeding in from this area here. We can put a little bit of tourism around here, and maybe, well, not tourism, commercial, so we can just make it into a kind of tourist area like this, so it just fills in quite nicely. So we're using low density so it doesn't intrude. Right, and I think that is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. In fact, I hope you enjoyed the series. If you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the comments. As I say, this isn't strictly the last video in this Let's Play. I will be making a couple of extra ones because I would really like to unlock the Eiffel Tower and this Amsterdam place, just to complete the unlocks, mainly for my own future Let's Plays. And then also we'll be doing these scenarios unlocks as well if I get an opportunity, but they will be separate Let's Plays if I do decide them. I must admit I am slightly intrigued about doing Floodlands again with all the modern DLC, although I think some of them won't work particularly that well. The other thing I will probably do is, I mean, what's my current traffic? 77%. So maybe I will do a video on using the traffic manager to see if we can improve the traffic flows through here. As you can see, the traffic is getting quite intense along here now, and it is due to this quirky way that the game manages its traffic. I mean, yes, there is the traffic manager mod, but I do wish Colossal Order would put a bit more effort into putting those tools into the vanilla game, because as I say, this is building up a little bit, but it's still 78%, which is pretty good considering the size of the city. So maybe I will do a video on that. There's a water problem there, so just fill that in. But this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.